Hi, everybody. I'm really excited to have Josh here with us. He is just completing a 12-week course with us on healing. And so he's here to share his story and share some inspiration with all of you about what's possible and about what this journey looks like. And just to help you know that you can heal too if that's what you want. And so I'm looking forward to talking with you, Josh. Thanks for being willing to share. I know it's really vulnerable to share your
Hmm.
stories and the stuff, we don't always talk about, to our neighbors and our friends and to everyone.
Right.
So it's just a really special gift when you guys and our clients and our graduates come on and are really willing to share their hearts and just share, like where you started and where you're at now and how you got there so
Yeah.
everybody else can know that it really is possible too. So, um, let's just kind of dive in with your starting point, and then I'll
Hmm.
introduce who I am and what this group is about, and then we're going to hear the rest of your story. So, can you share with us where you were at your worst, kind of your starting point with us, and why you even joined the program? I know you were dealing with chronic pain every day,
Yeah.
some of it constant,
Hmm.
food sensitivities and digestive issues, and like unexplained weird stuff like
Yeah.
rashes. So, yeah, can you share with us just a little bit about your starting point?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so some of the stuff goes back a long time. Like my stomach issues. I've been having problems with digestion and just feeling nauseous and feverish after eating and that sort of thing for years. And then some neck issues, and then just last year or even early the year before, started getting onset with severe neuralgia. Nerve pain in my face and my forehead and random places throughout my body. Feeling like somebody's stabbing me or um, just a burning sensation. Um, yeah, it was a really horrible experience.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for years.
for years. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and it definitely seemed like there was no relief in sight for a long time.
And what are some of the things you tried? The different doctors or specialists or diets or cleanses. What are those things that you
Right. Well,
tried?
I went down the modern medicine route. I went to neurologist and rheumatologist, and we talked about like burning nerve pathways in my neck so that I could be without the nerve pain, and like none of those seemed very good. And so I did physical therapy twice,
Mm.
um, probably within a year, just to get my neck to where I could move around. And as you can see, I got full mobility now.
Yep, awesome.
um, so I got through the physical therapies, um, and kind of felt like I was on a plateau. I tried all kinds of supplements, expensive supplements.
Hmm.
I was probably spending um, probably more than $500 a month on supplements, just trying to feel better. And a lot of them would make me feel better too. I don't think they were actually doing much more than that in a lot of cases. Um, just
Like
because
math
now
symptoms,
right,
but not getting rid of the pain.
sure, sure,
Yeah.
sure. And they were probably even making me healthy in some areas, but I don't know that I could tell.
Mm.
So yeah, it felt like a waste. It felt like a waste. And massage therapy, I would deal with my immediate pains, muscle pain and that sort of stuff, doing massage therapy. And yeah, it was uh it was a lot of work, constant work,
Yeah.
just to exist and try to have some semblance of a life, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep. And then to still be in pain all day. I know
Right,
that's got
right.
to be
Yeah,
discouraging. And yep.
yeah.
So why did you decide to join this program to become a client of ours and to go down this healing path with the stuff that we teach in the group?
Well, last year after I'd got through my second bout of physical therapy and running through my probably fifth or sixth um, month of really expensive supplements, I happened upon the group again, because I think I had joined a year or two before, and just hadn't really seen much. I happened upon the group again one morning, early morning, and was watching one of your videos and was like, wow, I really have kind of taken a lot more ownership of my health lately, and it's paid dividends.
Mm.
And I just had the thought, I was like, I bet I could go all the way with this.
Hmm.
And so I started doing a lot of the things that you were talking about in your videos, and finding other people. I'd, listen to Abraham Hicks, and, maybe Greg Braden or Joe Dispenza, stuff like that. And
Yeah.
I went several months that way and came a long ways, but still was just feeling like I'm missing something. Like I am not getting to the root cause of what's actually making me sick. Like I'm not figuring this out on my own here.
Yep.
So I scheduled my breakthrough call with you.
Awesome. And can
Yeah.
you, before I kind of introduce, for people who are new to our group, I will tell you about us, but I was so excited to dive into Josh's story. Josh, will you describe what it means to take ownership of your health based on what you understand? That could be such a new concept. I know a lot of people, and myself included, at my worst, I was bedridden a couple years and I had symptoms since I was a kid. I thought I was taking charge of my health by doing the supplements and the diets and going to the chiropractor, massage therapist, and the functional medicine doctors and the nutritionists, and trying all the diets and cleanses, and doing the elimination diets and cutting out gluten and dairy. Like I thought that was me taking ownership of my health. I had no idea that there was a whole deeper side to that, where really I can control my body and I can control my symptoms and I can control my illnesses. I turned them on and I can turn them off. And if you would have told me that at one point, I would have been really angry.
Right.
I've been really
Well,
angry. Like, what do you mean? I didn't
sure.
choose any of this. So being chronically ill isn't a choice. I'm doing everything I can. So would you mind just sharing in your own words, what were you learning and starting to try in the group, and in what we teach to take true ownership of your health? And what had you decide then that you could become fully healthy, that was even possible for you? Could you just share more about that?
Yeah. So most of it was around how we create our situation, right? And so a lot of that was me reflecting back on my life and thinking about all of the things that have set me up to put me in the position that I'm in, good and bad, right?
Mm-hmm. Like life
And
changes,
right,
childhood stuff.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. My responses to situations, and like just all of these things that have happened in my life, that I've, you know, and in a lot of cases chosen to ignore, right?
Mm-hmm.
And and I think that was the key. Looking back now, no, going into it, I didn't see what it was, but looking back now, is like all of these things in my life that I had chosen to ignore created these patterns from that point forward that manifested in like in funny ways, right? In very obscure ways that, like maybe you felt like you weren't good enough because you asked your dad to buy you a new toy car and he got upset, right?
Yep.
And so now, I can't buy myself that night. Well, I went and bought myself that nice lawnmower last week, right?
Yes.
So, all of these things that have added up in my life, and some of them that I could peel back and sort out myself, and some of them I was like, no, like I know there's something deep there. Like I feel in my gut, I have that feeling that no, I've got to do some serious work to get to the bottom of this, because right, and we play tricks on ourselves too, is the thing, right? And and that's where I finally, I think, where it was my deciding point to actually find a coach, and get in with the program was, I don't have the perception from this vantage point,
Mm.
right? I I want to, right? So that's enough to get me going and to get my commitment to where I need to be to get the work done. But it's kind of like when you get stuck out in the middle of a field somewhere, right? You're driving through life and you're distracted or whatever, and you take the back roads and you get stuck in, you know, 3 feet of mud. Like, you've got to have somebody pull you out.
Yeah, that's a good, yeah. And what I hear you saying is, you know, you know that your health is related to stuff internal, maybe past traumas and childhood stuff, and these
Oh
stories, these
yeah,
beliefs we create about ourselves, and that you really were willing to go there, but you knew you couldn't do without a mentor. And
right,
that's my experience as well. I can be willing all I want, but if something's in my blind spot, it's unconscious to me. I don't even know that I don't know it, you know.
right,
I need somebody to help, you know, to have the perspective to help me pull that out and see it and learn how to do that
right,
process for myself.
right.
So, yeah, I love what you're sharing. And for those who are new in the group, I'm Mikal, and we're with Integrity Wellness Worldwide. And what we do is teach you guys how to identify the root cause of each and every symptom and each and every chronic illness. And what we know is when you address the root cause, the symptoms and the illnesses go away. It's a very simple process to do that. It's just cause and effect. And it's a skill that lasts a lifetime, so that you guys are learning how to be happy on the inside, how to be healthy, how to create a workable life, a life of integrity, how to navigate your relationships in a powerful way, where you have peace and character, and you know, you feel good about yourself on the inside, and you embrace and like and enjoy your life. And that's really what it means to reclaim yourself, is to like and love who you are and accept who you are and have good self-esteem and value yourself, take care of yourself, and how to know how to stay healthy and happy. And that's more than just putting a band-aid or a supplement or a pill or a chiropractic adjustment on top of a symptom. That's about actually eliminating completely those symptoms and illnesses by addressing the real root causes within you that are not allowing your body to repair itself and to truly heal, which is what it wants to do. And so we teach you that process for a lifetime, because it's much more than just being symptom free. It's about taking yourself with you and having a life that you love, and building a life that you love, and going after your goals and your dreams. And that's going to be for the rest of your life. You're going to know how to have to do that, and how to have to respond to new traumas or new stressors or new life changes or unexpected events or grief or trauma or loss. That's a part of life that's going to keep happening. But if you know how to navigate that in a healthy way, then you can maintain your sense of health and happiness and peace and security within yourself. So, um, so Josh, what is it like now? I mean, fast forward 12 weeks, you've done the hard work to dig, address those internal things, learn about your body, address those root causes. Where are you at from your symptoms to your marriage to your job? What does life look like now?
And everything's so much more in focus and clear. It's amazing.
Mm.
You know, my job has gone. I mean, things are super stressful at my work right now. You know, I had a guy, you know, quit on my team a couple of weeks ago, and you know, I got a promotion and stuff, which, yeah, I mean, that's good, but you know, it comes with its own stresses.
Yeah.
Um, but you know, I'm handling it like a champ. You know, I've got you know, a lot of life issues coming at me still, and I'm able to, you know, articulate what I need and what my expectations are in a way, and I'm also able to take, you know, the criticism or, you know,
Mm.
any opposition in what I want with grace, and be able to, you know, diplomatically find solutions.
Wow.
That's
And
that's
where
pretty
would you
big.
have been if these same challenges hit you 12 weeks ago?
Well, I would shut down. I
Mm-hmm.
would find a place to hide away.
But would you have more pain, stomach
Oh
problems,
yeah.
rashes, and
Yeah.
your symptoms would flare up?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I would probably, yeah, right now my face would probably feel like it's on fire.
Wow.
But no, I would say that I'm on the edge of a flare up, maybe. Like there's that much stress going on, but I'm able to keep it away because I know that it's just it's just life, and life happens, and we have the tools that we need to deal with them, to deal with life.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you do have a lot on your plate. I know some of the
Yeah.
backstory. So it's really extraordinary that not only are you stepping into healthy, but it's not some fantasy life. Like people, I hear a lot of times, we think that the root cause is like my job, or we
Hmm.
think the root cause of my stress or my illness or my flare ups or my depression or my anxiety,
Right.
is, oh, and anxiety, we didn't mention that, but that was another condition
Sure.
that you had.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't
we
have
think that
anxiety
it's our
right now.
marriage or that it's a person or that it's, when life slows down, it'll be better. When my kids grow up, it'll be better. This is
Yep.
just life of having 2-year-olds but it's none of life is going to continue on if you want to truly become happy, which
Yeah.
is in your mind and your body and
Yeah.
your heart and your emotions to be truly healthy. You've got to have that independent of your circumstances because your circumstances aren't the root cause. It's like Josh said earlier, it's my response. It's how I'm responding and how I'm navigating life and how I'm navigating my feelings or shoving them down,
Hmm.
or getting lost in them. Other people get lost in their feelings. So
Right. Or take on
actually,
other people's feelings.
yeah, being an
That's
empath.
a big one. Yep.
Yep, being feeling at the whim or impacted by other people and their emotions and not being able to escape that. So really, by you learning to navigate life, and you got your power and control back, not only over your body but over these parts of your life.
Yep. Absolutely.
Awesome,
Yeah.
remarkable.
Yeah. Yeah. There was a win the other night. I took my wife out to eat, and I had a compliant meal. The steak and vegetables, and it felt like I had gotten glutened,
Mm,
right? Because I have like kind of that oral, like kind of itchy, numbish sort of
mm.
feeling in the mouth. And I was like, what in the world? Like, no, I shouldn't be
That's
glutened
not
here.
healthy. Yeah,
I was
good.
like, yeah. I was like, okay. And so I just like kind of made up my mind that if it was, in fact, a reaction to something, that it was going to be fine and that I would get through it. And that I also might be creating the symptom in my head
Mm,
just as a result of all of the stress that I was under, right? Just the stress of eating out after, being on a restricted diet, to where,
yeah, well, for a
you
long
can't do that.
time.
Yeah. For a long time.
Several
Yeah.
years.
Yeah. But the stress of eating out like that, I mean, I think that alone could have contributed to it, but I feel fine. And I was fine the next day.
Well, and how do you, knowing you have the tools yourself, because you didn't contact me, you
Huh.
don't need me for that anymore. What's the process? Can you describe being able to look at those symptoms and get to the root cause and connect the dots between, the new flare-ups or new symptoms or old ones returning and what's actually going on? Just having the ability to look at that and then get
I
them
mean,
to go away.
yeah, it's a little bit harder to articulate, I think, but I'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
Um, so when I'm feeling like I'm going into like resistance in a situation, or that I've got some environmental trigger or something, like I pay attention to what my body is telling me. Like, what is my body doing? And it's almost like it it triggers past memories now.
Mm.
So if we go to the gluten one, the first time that I remember having a kind of that itchy feeling in my mouth was after thinking that I was allergic to bananas.
Hmm.
Yeah, as a little kid. But now that I remember that situation, like I had an uncle who was allergic to bananas and he would still eat them, but he would eat just, he wouldn't let the peel touch
Hmm.
his lips or something because it would actually like cause his mouth to like flare up.
Wow.
And I wondered if I had actually associated that with that instance.
Oh, where then you were like, oh, I'm allergic to,
I'm allergic to this
I
now.
must react. I need to
Yeah,
react.
yeah. And I did. And I created that symptom for myself.
Wow.
Yeah,
So you can actually trace back, and you're newer in this journey.
yeah,
The longer you go through it, and you guys, for me, every single maybe flare up that I have, and I don't have them all the time anymore. I'm able to just identify, whoa, what just happened in my life
mm-hmm,
that I'm not looking at or working through.
right,
Why did I just create that? As soon as I work through that deeper thing, or where I'm stressed out, or where I'm avoiding my emotions, or
yep,
whatever it is, um my symptoms just go away. I don't go to
right,
the supplement cabinet for an anti-inflammatory, or I used to have special enzymes to break down gluten in case I got
right,
glutened, because I could be
mm-hmm,
flared up for a month or more,
sure,
really bad, like almost bedridden again. And so I don't go to all those external tools. And Josh, that's what I hear you describing is, even though you're newer in this process, you are looking and making the connections. When did I create, where did my illness start,
yeah,
when did the symptom happen,
right,
and what can I choose now in my life to move forward and not have to rely on that, not have to
right.
create that stress in our body and
Yeah.
this in
And
our body.
going back to that instance of, me being a toddler and, looking at my uncle and his reaction thinking that I should have that. There was also an emotional component to there too, right? And I was already a toddler in a pretty stressful situation, and I was looking for a way to have that um have that attention,
Mm-hmm.
right? So there was something emotional
Good
in my
honesty.
relationships, right? Yeah, yeah,
Yes, I hope if everybody's listening, it's not just Josh. This is
yeah,
what we all do in creating
yeah,
our symptoms as ways to cope, or because we can't cope with life. Even if it was just a normal change, like moving from one neighborhood to the next, to our minds and to our bodies, that's still a major stressor in our
yeah,
life, just like something that we would think would be extremely traumatic. And
right,
so it's us not coping with life and life changes and life stress and chronic stress and all the stuff that we are exposed to as humans in this life. It's us not being able to cope, that the people in this group who create symptoms, we take that out on our bodies.
hmm,
And we can just reverse that process, and kind of like a light switch,
right.
stop doing that.
Yep, we get caught in this kind of vicious cycle, and we're doing so much to keep ourselves healthy that we can't even begin to think about our environment and keeping ourselves organized and clean. I mean,
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean,
And then our
our whole
environment
life just
reflects
kind
that.
of spirals down into this, you know, pit of despair.
Yeah, and I mean, you say that, Josh, but like from the outside world, I think you still would have been seen as incredibly successful
Oh,
at your
absolutely.
job and as a dad and with your
Absolutely.
family, and like you're, you know,
Yeah.
very successful, but on the
Yeah.
inside.
Yeah. Any of my friends, if they were watching this video, they'd be like, what? Josh had problems? What?
Yeah, good
Yeah.
for you. And how does it feel to actually start feeling on the inside that you really are good and happy and healthy? It's not just a show or something you have to do, but you
Right.
really are that way.
Yeah, it's an amazing feeling. It's like, for anybody listening, it's like that. If you've ever felt like that hole in your chest, like you just feel like something's missing, like that's kind of that piece where you don't love yourself, I think. Like, and if you can figure out how to completely, fully, wholly, like accept yourself for who you are, like that hole is filled.
I love how you said it. Yep, and that really is what this path is about,
Yeah.
in our self-acceptance and self-love and filling in that missing piece, which is us. We're the missing piece, connecting
Right.
to that part of us, loving and accepting, embracing that part of us as we learn and grow, not beating ourselves up and putting ourselves last and
Right.
having a toxic relationship with ourselves. That is how we heal, and our bodies reflect that to us. Our marriages reflect that to us. Our bank accounts reflect that to us. All of our life reflects back to us that piece of us that Josh is talking about. So that's really the core, is learning how to love ourselves. And that's not some magical, like, I'm going to say affirmations every day and try to force it to happen. It really is a process you have to learn, and you have to look at your past, and then just the deep stuff, the internal stuff. You have to own where you don't like yourself, or where you're immature, or where, for me,
Right.
I'm not disciplined. I'm being like a teenager, or maybe sometimes like a 2-year old,
Mm-hmm.
throwing some tantrums because I don't want to adult
Right.
today. And learning how to put ourselves first, and be people we're proud of, um, and feel good about ourselves on the inside. That really is this process. So, Josh, just kind of last questions I have for you is, um, a lot of people in the group, this is very different than conventional medicine.
Mm-hmm.
This is very different than holistic or functional medicine. Although we might pull from conventional medicine, and we can teach you about your lab tests and what they mean, we might pull from these holistic modalities and help your body stop reacting to things, or release stored emotions, or, support your body, if you have low vitamin D. Those things are really surface level. And so a lot of what we talk about in the group, you know, and when I was first learning and walking myself through this process, was really skeptical. Sounds weird. How can it work? 12 weeks or 10 weeks, or, couple weeks is way too fast. People can't heal in that time. They can't heal physically. They can't heal from trauma, lifetime of trauma. They can't heal emotionally from like life conditions of anxiety, depression, food sensitivities. That can't go away. Gluten's been modified. I had all these beliefs come up for me that I was confronting, because this is so different than everything out there. So can you speak to that? Like, why'd you trust us? And how did you get over, did you have skepticism, and how did you get over that? And what did you find from working with us in the process?
Well, I mean, it was hard at first because it's so different from conventional or even any kind of natural medicine, right? It's a completely different way of looking at health. And the thing that made it up for me was for one, the last video that I watched before the breakthrough call was the overall message was, are you fighting for your right to your trauma?
Are you fighting
Right?
for your right to be sick and
To
to
be
stay sick
sick.
and
Right.
traumatized?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
That exactly.
Good. Yep.
And I thought really good and hard about that message, and how, I mean, it really resonated with me, right? Like it struck a chord. And it was like, wow, I see that all around me. Like I fight for that. Like kids fight for their right to be sick. Like people fight for their right to be sick and traumatized all the time.
Mm.
And it's it was sorry, I lost my train of thought there
That's
for a
okay. No, this
second.
is great. And those listening, I'll post that in the comments below, so you can. That's one of the courses I gave in the group here.
Right.
So I'll post a link to that so you guys can go through that course. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. And so just knowing that you were looking at health in a different way, And I found a few of the people that, you know, it looked like they had gone through the program. I was like, okay, this is really looking pretty legit. And then after I had the call with you, the breakthrough call, like just the way that it made me feel afterward, the way that I was able to mostly validate for myself that, yeah, I was totally hanging on to some trauma. You know, I can totally see where in my life I've created my symptoms, and like, yeah, this is for me. And you know, I could tell just in talking with you for that hour that I guess it was a 2 hour call on that one.
Sometimes they
Um,
go long, yeah.
yeah. um, I just got the sense that, you know, you're in this to help people. You truly have, you know, a gift for helping people do this hard work, and it's not easy. Like I can't imagine as a practitioner what you have to experience, because um well, it's hard work to retrain your way of thinking in the ways that we have to get around, you know, what we've built up around ourselves. You know, it's like the analogy I give you before, like the doctor that, you know, you go in and you tell the doctor that, hey, I broke my arm, can you fix it? It's been broken for like a year. You know, the doctor is going to break your arm and make it straight again, and it's going to hurt. So the hard part is going through that pain, right? Again. And I guess you as a practitioner, right? Being so compassionate and understanding, like you have like you feel very in tune with your clients, and it's it's hard to find the words for this, but
You
it,
make me tear up.
it's refreshing to have that level of knowledge and care, you know, given toward you, right? Have somebody pay that close of attention to your problems and really help you through them in a way that you can grasp, and you can, you know, retain for forever.
Thank you for your words. And yeah, it's what I hear and what you're saying within myself is I won't give up on you. And
Right. Yeah, you
it
won't.
really is just my a whole heart commitment. And it's because I've been there too. You know,
Right.
the only way I could teach this work is because I've been there too.
Right.
And so I really appreciate you sharing that very, very much. And you know, a couple weeks ago, I realized that what I experience in the work we do with clients and that I do is I'm like the first person that won't give up. Everyone gave up on me. My doctors didn't know what was wrong. The
Mm-hmm.
chiropractor had their plan, and then, well, I don't know why it didn't work. And then the nutritionist had their perfect plan. We did all these
Mm-hmm.
lab tests, and we got the right perfect plan. And of course, it's going to work. I have very much success. At the end, well, I don't know. Like, you know,
Right.
sorry, I guess it didn't
Right.
work for you. You know, or you're
Right.
doing something wrong. But what's so beautiful about this process is, you know, I don't give up on myself, and I'm
Right.
healthy, and you don't give up on yourself, and now you're healthy. And there's nothing special
Yep.
about me or Josh. We're just regular people with normal lives.
Yep.
And you know, anybody can do this work, and that's what I love about it. Is it's a process that doesn't give up on you. It keeps
Right.
going until you're there, and it's just step by step uncovering those root causes and solving them. And it's not something you have to keep band-aiding. Once they're gone, they're gone. And
Right.
that's a really beautiful process.
Yep. In fact, you'll learn how to like catch yourself trying to band-aid something and be like, oh, well, that's not what I need there.
Yep. Yes. I totally relate to that. Well, Josh, is there anything else you would want people to know who This message might be really new for them. We have a lot of people in the group that hear your guys' testimonials and the graduates sharing all their breakthroughs and results and their chronic illnesses going away. And they're like, what program? What is this? I don't know how to grasp or wrap my mind around it. They might be on the fence. They might of scheduling a breakthrough call or not. They might be skeptical and not, just trying to be like, how can this even work? So, is there anything that you want to share with people that have chronic symptoms, and really do want to heal?
I believe you can heal. And if you believe it and you really want to take on the work that you've got to put in to heal, it's definitely something you can do. And it's never going to be an easy path, because nothing's easy, and that's why it feels so good.
Yeah.
Right? All of the hardest things at the end of it, those are the best things. And when it comes to taking care of yourself and having the best life, like, you're worth it. And it doesn't matter what you've been through in your life, what you've done, what kind of job you have. Doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are, like, you're worth it. If you think you have 5 years left on this planet, make those 5 years the best 5 years of your life.
Yep. Beautiful. Yep. So for those of you who are listening, you might be new, you might be old, you might be in the group a couple years like Josh, and just reconnecting. The first step is really to schedule a breakthrough call. And that's a free service we give to people in the group, to really get to know you and to hear your symptoms and your chronic illnesses and everything you've tried, and really have us dive in to see what is the missing piece. And, our program or our help one-on-one with our clients isn't for everyone. And there are those of you that we can help. And so if that's a good fit and it's what you and I feel good about, we'll help you move forward and create a custom program, just like Josh. His program was unique to him, different than any other client, and all centered around finding and addressing his root causes. And so we'll help you build that custom program and help you move through it. And fast forward 10 to 12 weeks, that's about the time it takes to completely be symptom free, whether it's from post-trauma issues or whether it's from physical health and chronic illness. And if it's not a good fit, or it's not the right time for you, I will actually point you to resources that would be the right next step for you instead. And so either way, it's a win-win. It's a life-changing call, because it's really you scheduling that call is the time when you decide, I'm no longer going to fight and justify and excuse why I'm sick, why I have symptoms, why I carry my trauma and my stress with me and my triggers. And I am choosing, just like Josh did, I'm choosing that it is possible, and I can and I will be completely healthy, and I'm up for and willing to do the hard work it takes to get there, willing to dive deep and look at past stuff and buried emotions and all the hard stuff we don't want to look at, the stuff maybe we don't even realize is there. And so that's that life-changing decision. And so either way, whether we end up working with you or we end up pointing you to other resources, it's my purpose, my honor, my joy, exactly what I want to be doing with my life, to be helping you guys take the steps forward to truly heal. And to us, that doesn't mean ending up on restricted diets forever because you have food sensitivities forever. What that means is that you actually resolve those things, and you have health from the inside out, and you get to go back and live a normal, healthy life, not one that's, micromanaged, or like Josh said in the beginning, I was doing a lot of work just to survive, just to function. And really, I was still in pain every day. And so we don't want to give you band-aids. We want you guys to completely break through to the other side of having your symptoms and your illnesses not even really be a part of your life anymore. And then you just get to spend your time and energy on life and buying lawnmowers for yourself,
Right.
treating
It was either
yourself.
that or a motorcycle.
Yeah, well, there you go. Lawnmower, good. Motorcycle can be next. But,
Right.
really having a life you enjoy. And like Josh said, if it's 5 years, if you've got 50 years left, make it the best you can. So I will post a link
They're worth it.
below, healingtraumanow.com/apply. That's how you schedule a breakthrough call with me. And it's very important to have all decision makers there, anybody that you would need on your team to be able to make a decision to move forward or get resources. We want everybody there so we can make it the most out of our time and get you exactly what you need. So that's it for me. Josh, is there anything else you want to say before we wrap up today?
No, I think we're good.
Okay, thanks so much for sharing your story. And you guys, I hope this is inspiring to you that regardless of your symptoms or your chronic illnesses, you're 10 to 12 weeks away from being completely symptom free. If you're up for the work, if you're up for the process and the challenge, and if you're up for really willing to dig deep and kiss your illness goodbye, to decide you're no longer willing to hang on to that and continue suffering. That's the process we walk each and every one of our clients through. And it's a process that's been proven. I've been teaching this stuff for over a decade, and I've walked through it myself too. So that's what this is about. Let us know if you have any questions or comments, and I look forward to talking to you guys again soon. Thank you.